Death be not proud.
Bunch of slack-jawed faggots around here. This stuff will make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus.
What's up, you faggots? Holy Diver here, and I'm going to have some straight talk for you. I made the most awesome video a couple of days ago. It was the review for Orcs in Kings of War 3rd Edition. And it got some feedback on Facebook, and there were some people who were sitting on the fence, and then there were some people who were outright attacking me and putting me down, and then I had some comments that were, I thought, completely hilarious. This is one of my favorite comments right here. Endings, 1964. Are you fucking 12 years old? Using gay as a slur? And WTF? You know what would be really gay? Question mark? Having AIDS? That's gotta be the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in a video from a non-teen. Grow the fuck up and stop representing our community. Triple corn dog, wah, dude. Look, here's my thoughts on the LMNOP community. I don't care. I have no thought. There you go. I don't care who these people are. You don't know me. But if you want to care, go have a couple of words with our Muslim Brotherhood about that. I believe I can fly. Did you win that fight against gravity? I don't think so. I don't think that you did. So, there you go. Another one. This guy was funny. Todd Serpico. Okay. Me and the Rules Committee worked very hard to balance Alessio Cavator's broken system. Alright. First and foremost, idiots. Me calling the Rules Committee idiots is called an independent thought button right there.
Okay, Lisa, I respect your moral objection.
Uh-oh. 2 independent thought alarms in one day. The students are overstimulated.
Alright, I had an independent thought, and I might have had 2 or 3 independent thoughts. Biggest problem I think with gaming today is Spikey Bit Dinks and Facebook forum Facebook group Geeks. And let's get that phrase down there. Spikey Bit Dinks and Facebook group Geeks are the biggest problem with the community today. If we were all out there floating on an ocean in the during the 2015 when basically the great schism in fantasy gaming happened, they released a bomb called Age of Sigmar. And back then I was just I had started doing videos with a handy cam, a $150 handy cam that I won on auction just because I thought it would be fun. Not because I knew how to do it, but because I thought it would be fun. Then after fantasy died off and all my friends started picking up, sucking the dick of Games Workshop, oh, GW, and they all started playing Age of Sigmar and everything. I was still skeptical. I don't think it's a good game today. I still don't think it's a good game tomorrow. Not to say that I won't play it. If a good friend of mine asks me to, I will probably break down and play it. Just like I play 40K with a very select group of people who happen to have more testosterone in their testes than a 93-year-old man. And that's how much testosterone you have to have in order to play 40K with me. You can't be looking like some of these motherfuckers. Basically, the Great Schism happened, and then I did playtesting at about that time frame for Kings of War had come out, and I picked up a camera, did a video with a friend of mine, and I went from having 150 subscribers to 200. I got 50 subscribers overnight from that video. And I got to thinking, maybe I'll just jump on the bandwagon with this Kings of War shit and see what happens. So when you tell me to stop representing the community, fuck you, I am the community. There you go. That's the best way I can describe it. You're not the community because you're a member of Fanatics or Greenskins Anonymous or Spiky Bits or any one of these fucking communities on Facebook. They don't count. You're not a member of the community. What makes you the biggest members of the community that I think is anybody who has the courage to pick up a camera and put themselves out there. There are some battle reporters I don't like. Let's see here. Visibly Riley, kind of an asshole. I congratulated him on one of his videos, his 50th video. I said, congratulations on 50 battle reports in Kings of War. I didn't get an answer back from that guy. I don't. I mean, maybe I might be jumping the gun on the asshole button, but I have commented on a lot of his videos and never heard shit from this guy. So I know they all couldn't be spam, but if I did end up in the spam category, you have my apology before then, because YouTube is very hard. If you weren't there in 2007 doing this shit, you weren't ever going to be anything anyway. And especially if you're not willing to buy your shit from YouTube to make your channel. You can pay to play, just so you know. That's something that I have refused to do. I have never once bought a subscriber. I have never once bought views for a video. And you can. And I have also never once bought likes for a video or dislikes for a video. So, there you go. I did have a couple videos take off on me, and then I've seen likes taken away from me by YouTube, but I have never ever paid to play. Never ever in a million years. And so it hurts when you do have that happen to you, when YouTube does suppress you in the algorithm when you take off a little bit, because you finally think you're going to get that viral video, and then nope, they shut it down. I should probably burn an army, that might help me. Then this is another funny guy, so the Todd Serpico guy. How many books has the Rules Committee written? I'm just 0. And then when I think of Alessio Calvatore, not only did he write Kings of War 2nd edition, but he also wrote the Vampire Counts Codex, written in 2003. I'm just going to flip over here. Yep. Written by Alessio Calvatore. This is my favorite incarnation of the Vampire Counts. I am a fan of his work. When I think Alessio Calvatore, let's take a look here. Warhammer, the Game of Fantasy Battles, written by Alessio Calvatore. This is Warhammer 7th edition. I like this book. You get a lot in this book. I also like Warhammer 5th edition, written by Rick Priestley. But this is my favorite incarnation of Warhammer. I like 7th edition. You should check out my videos, Warhammer The Age of Reason, and where I'm just doing nothing but playing 7th edition fantasy. But when I think of like some of these geeks and dinks floating around in the water with us in this Kings of War community, I wonder how many of them, and this is a fence sitter that I saw on Facebook, I wonder how many of these idiots are going to jump ship the moment Games Workshop re-releases fantasy. We had a good laugh about that one, and I really do. I wonder how, I am someone who always eats where he lives. You won't see me putting together an army out of the putting together my army out of the bargain bin at the dollar store or from Walmart. I won't buy dinosaurs and play with fucking toys to play a game that I like. I will go out and I will support the product with my dollars. So when you tell me to stop representing the community, fuck you. I am the community. I'm putting myself out there. I'm the only one, for the most part, making medium quality videos with a couple of other people for a game that nobody really cares about, almost, except for the same 400 people on Fanatics. I think we're very lucky to have Jerry Ultimate Power Gamer, Kyle of Mastercrafted. I wish he'd do one more battle report with Caleb, because I do like seeing that shit. But there's a very select few people who have chosen to do Kings of War content, not because they want to get famous, but because they love the game. And I do this because I love the game. I'm also a fan of Alessio Calvatore. So when I review a list, I am going to review a list with a comparison and contrast of what was, because this was one of the funnier comments. He's comparing orcs to the old list. He can't do that. That's like, again, I said that's having an independent thought.
Okay, Lisa, I respect your moral objection.
Uh-oh. 2 independent thought alarms in one day. The students are overstimulated.
And I'm going to do it with a bias defending the original author. I don't have the Rules Committee. It wasn't paid to. They didn't walk out of that room when they had the meeting about the rules with a paycheck from Mantic. Alessio Calvatore did. So when I say it should have probably been written by him, or he should have had a hand on it. And his name, when you look at the 3rd edition book, his name isn't at the top. It's just original concept by Alessio Cavatore. He's not in. You got Jason Moorman and some other people. I think it was Matt Gilbert. I don't know. So yes, if I want to do a review with a bias defending him, I can do that. And the problem with Facebook is with Geeks and Dinks, you're not allowed to have that independent thought. These are the types of people who are so fragile. They're like, if you say anything, Holy Diver, anything at all, I don't care if it was 2 years ago in this video and I find out about it, I am cutting you off clean. Because I watched Dr. Phil and there's no room for hate. No room for hate, okay? And, you got a lot of slack-jawed faggots that have only known shelter. They've never tried or done anything in their entire lives. They've just got on the internet one day and became activists inside the gaming community. And I thought that was pretty funny. So you got this other guy, Towns RY. I've been on YouTube for 5 years and I haven't surpassed 2,000 subscribers, and I just gave you the reason for that. Nobody cares about Kings of War except for the same 400 people that you might find. Now, every now and then, the big channels come out and they do a Kings of War related video. Kyle did a video with Mini Wargaming, and it was just a product test run. It was a product preview. And that's all it was. And they haven't done anything related to Kings of War since then. Because again, when you think of gaming, tabletop gaming as a whole, I want you to think of a big pie, and the two thinnest slices of that pie are fantasy gaming, rank and flank, and historical ancient wargaming, from ancient to medievals. Those are the two thinnest slices of the pie, and you're not gonna gain momentum doing niche videos. I don't talk about the hobby generically like tabletop minions. I could, if you ask me, I think his videos are shit. I don't really think he owns an actual painted figure to his name. Maybe he does, and maybe I'm wrong. It's just he's not a part of our community. Jerry Ultimate Power Gamer has done more for our community than that guy. Jerry has done more for. I'm just going to use him. Jerry, you're going to be my whipping boy this video. So are you, Kyle. You got those two have done more for the community than any of the other people out there, because they've gotten on the internet to make videos and put themselves out there, and basically because they like it, not because they're going to get famous. And me and Kyle did have a conversation one day. There's 10,000 people on Fanatics. Where the hell is this larger share of the audience that we're missing? And I think that was a 20-minute discussion we had. And it's good that he's been able to gain some momentum, but it's still just one. I mean, hold on here. But it's still just about that much in the bucket that he could have or should have, because he puts out a pretty good quality product. And you got a lot of content producers that are producing medium to low quality videos for a game, again, that nobody really cares about, but some people happen to like. So then I run into this guy. This guy's a winner. Holy Diver appears to hold antiquated views on the gay community. Let me tell you something. I don't care about Vietnamese basket weavers who are blind, wheelchair bound, and want to get into wargaming. I don't. I literally don't care what the LMNOP community is up today, tomorrow, and if you think my views are antiquated, let's go ask the Muslim brother. I believe I can fly. Oh, never mind. Looks like you lost that battle with gravity. So, as for my antiquated views, I just use gay as a slur. It rolls off the tip of my tongue, as does faggot, retard, or loser. And so, when it comes down to grabbing that slice of the pie, it's basically, it's non-existent. The slice that we're working for is almost non-existent. And, there are some channels out there that, like Beasts of War, whenever they do something Mantic related, and it has that keyword, Kings of War, because they have a built-in network of subscribers that they probably paid for half of them, because you can pay to play, they go to the top of the queue. That hurts channels like mine, that hurts channels like Mastercrafted, because you have a lot of gamers, due to the quality of who aren't willing to eat where they live. They'll claim to be a member of the community, but they're not a member of the community. They're just sort of in the same boat, waiting for the next flavor of the week to come out from Games Workshop. So I think it'll be interesting to see how many people jump off the boat that is Kings of War, the moment Games Workshop re-releases Warhammer, the Game of Fantasy Battles. That aside, let's talk about the review. When I do a review, I did this for the Goblins as well. Goblins changed a little bit more dramatically than the Orcs did for 3rd edition from 2nd edition. Orcs were basically the same. The only thing they got was a bunch of skulk shit. Alright, so I did my comparisons and contrasts. I already told you that I have a bias that favors the original author. And then I took notes. And then I delivered the notes to you in video form. If I want to call the rules committee a bunch of idiots and fucking dumbasses, I can. That's called having an independent thought away from the rest of the hive mind that's on Facebook, or the people who want to attach themselves to an admin's cock. And when I told Todd Serpico to go attach himself to an admin's cock, he says, "You're a white nationalist." Yes, I'm a white nationalist, proud of it, and I'm a white nationalist with a black girlfriend. Don't believe me? Nope. Too late. There's a couple of pictures right there. And just so you know, my prior woman before she passed away, was also half black. So let's just make sure that I'm the best racist out there.
Please flush it already.
With all the brown sugar that I'm getting out there, you know. So moving that aside, I thought I'd never had to mute anyone before from my channel. But yeah, the moment you start attacking me, you're a racist, who hurt you? You've kind of hit the bottom of the intellectual pool there. You're what I call a dumbass. So when it comes down to the rules committee, most of these guys have never written books. Alright? If I pick up this book, Hail Caesar, it was written by Rick Priestley. Why is that germane to the subject? Let's go to a different book. It's the Bolt Action Rulebook, written by Alessio Calvatore and Rick Priestley. Alright? These guys have written more books than I care to count. These are just some of the ones that I have. And so if anyone knows how to design a game system, it's them. Now, I'm not saying that people didn't break Warhammer Fantasy 7th edition a long time ago. The Demon Codex was pretty strong for a while. You had a lot of demon people out there, but again, the flavor of the month gamer doesn't know what he's doing. So people would buy demons, and I'd beat the shit out of them with vampire counts or dark elves, and they'd be like, "Well, that's not fair. I have the best list from the internet. My feelings didn't win the game." And I think that represents a huge, extraordinary amount of gamers out there. The flavor of the month gamers, the people who are constantly trolling the big 40K channels to see what's on top and everything. And, you know, again, if you were to look at the pie, that pie is mostly 40K. A quarter of that pie is Age of Sigmar and Games Workshop's flavor of the month. And then you have, I guess I could say another quarter of that is World War II related gaming. That would probably be the second portion. And then the slivers are Black Powder, Pike and Shot, Ancients, and Fantasy Wargaming. Those are the small slivers that represent the other quarter. Whereas the rest of the pie, I want you to picture a big red pie that represents 40K. Or it would be like the size ratio of Earth to Jupiter. Jupiter, everybody who's playing 40K is on planet Jupiter. Everybody who's playing rank and flank based fantasy games and historical war games that are ancients, we're on planet Earth. There you go. So that's the size representation right there. And then there's everybody who's watching Geek and Sundry, they're sitting there over there on the sun or something. So that's the best way I can describe it, you know. So when you tell me not to make videos and say to stop representing the community, I've been representing this community for so long because I think that the best victory I could ever have, in my opinion, is the return of rank and plank fantasy wargaming in the form of Kings of War. Long after I stopped making videos, let's say I go to pick up some supplies, and there's a couple of people there playing Kings of War, I know that I did my part. And I always ate where I lived. And that's probably the most important thing, whereas everybody's just, again, wonder how many of them are going to jump ship when Fantasy comes out again. Because there was the Great Schism. You had people who got on the Ninth Age boat, and I made a video, and I called all those people a bunch of elitist pricks, you know? Because they basically took the rules that were written, and the rules that were written for 8th edition were pretty darn good. They were pretty darn good. As a matter of fact, I think the only thing you had to fix was the miscast table.
Get dressed in the morning, I'm triggered. I take a shower, I'm triggered. I get in the car, I'm triggered.
And take out 1 or 2 spells here and there. All you had to do was FAQ the Dreaded 13 that you get magic resistance saves against it. There you go. So if you do a Dreaded 13 and your magic resistance 3, you get to take 4+ ward saves against dying a 4d6 death. Or if you took a Purple Sun to the face, or Dwellers from Below to the face, and you were magic resistance, that's all you had to do, was just fix the magic resistances for some of the game-breaking spells. Yes, I'd taken a Purple Sun with my orcs, and it hurt, but I still came back to win that game, you know, so... And I really thought that some of those game-ender spells were pretty good, because games could drag on forever, and sometimes it's better to pack up and go have a beer with the person. But when I sit down to play a game, I want to talk a little bit of shit, roll some big dice, and maybe let a bunch of slackjaw faggots as a slur roll out of my tongue once in a while. And when I do sit down to play 40k, it's with a guy who has more testosterone than the Ultimate Warrior, at least, you know, because that's kind of the man that I relate to. I don't relate to this guy with his mouth gaped open going, ah, soy boy Toron Ra, outrage, outrage. He had an independent thought, does not compute. Ah. I don't relate to that guy. And if I were to take away his cell phone and cut off his access from Facebook, he wouldn't be an activist anymore. So I really think that the community is... I don't think it is on Facebook. I think it's a few good friends who support the content creators we got. And I think that we're just lucky to have anybody who's willing to make consistent videos about Kings of War. I think that we're lucky to have channels like Mastercrafted, Jerry Ultimate Power Gamer, Andy 2D6, who's in a bit of a rough patch right now. He's not getting the traffic he used to, you know, and you know, it's or myself for that matter. And I think that we had better as a community. It would be better just to stand behind those who are making Kings of War related videos. So that's my 2 cents, and you know, after I make my notes, I mean, I literally call it as I see it. The average that everything went up for the Orc Army was about 10 points. For no reason, and you didn't get a lot for those points that they gave you, alright? So that's the way I called it. I really reviewed the Orcs as a 2 out of 5. I didn't rate them as strong as the Goblins. And I'm probably not going to rate them as strong as the Ogres. When I do the Ogre review, I wonder if anyone will still be watching. But until I see you again, this has just been my 2 cents on the wargaming world. But as you know, YouTube has many features you can use to interact with me. You can like the video, dislike the video, comment, or subscribe. But until I see you again, keep fighting, keep playing Kings of War. And if you want to be a content creator, pick up a camera and don't be afraid. Just go make some Kings of War battle reports. Remember, though, when you're holding that camera, before you move it, go 1, 2, 3, left or right, and don't get any closer to the table than 3 feet. Just keep it at 3 feet for a little while, and if you want to zoom in on something, just be like, hold on, I'm going to zoom in here. Zzz. And I've already given you a nice little cue to camera control that I picked up over the years. Or hire a camera bitch, because you notice some of those channels, some of the professional channels have a camera peasant, and I'd be damned if that guy wasn't making minimum wage in British currency or minimum wage in Canadian currency.
Even you, puppy dog. Hey, you need to grow a sack!